everybody, welcome to the Shire. We're at Shire North today up in Berea, and we are working on a super fun project that I've been looking forward to for a while. This one's been a long time in the making, and I've been doing a little bit of work on it, some prep work. Actually, I've done a lot of prep work on it so far, but I wanted to show you where we're at and show you this exciting new thing we're going to add to the house. And so come along with me, I'll show you right now. Okay, here's the project I've been waiting for. This is a piece of white oak live edge for the new table for the dining room. So right now we're doing some work on it. So we got to give you a little bit of backstory. Super huge thank you to our friend and neighbor Jack down at the Shire. He got this wood through a friend that had another friend had it stored in a barn for a number of years. This was probably milled something on the maybe as much as 10 years ago. So it's been sitting in the barn drying out since then. So this is, again, like I said, it's a piece of white oak. It is 3.5 inches thick. It ranges from 29 to 36 inches wide at the widest point, and it was 9.5 feet long. Betsy and I talked about it, and to fit it as the dining table in the dining room, it's got to be about 7. So we cut a couple pieces out that were a little bit wonky, and we ended up with 6'10". So 6'10" long by 3.5 thick, and yeah, about, well, right around 34 average wide, something like that. But anyways, you can see that this is a pretty magnificent piece of wood. This is the underside, so the other side is even better. So, but right now we're just doing some mill work on it. I'm going to show you some of the work we're doing. It came to us, it was pretty decent shape. It had a bit of a cup in it, and it had some areas on the side that were a little soft from sitting. Probably wasn't stickered maybe in the barn. It might have just been sitting in a stack, but it's pretty spectacular. So we're doing some work on it today with the thoughts of getting it ready for final processing. But I'd like you to come along with me. I'll show you how this works. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Okay, so one of the first things we needed to do, we needed to try to get it as flat as possible. That's not exactly easy to do. It was cupped a little bit towards the bottom side, so the top side had a little bit of a concave look to it. The top had a little bit of a concave. The bottom had a little bit of a convex situation going. So as a result, I've been working on this with the hand planer, which is an amazing tool. If you've never worked with one of these, it is really a go-to tool. I like it a ton. It makes it so easy to flatten a piece of wood, but you do need to practice a little bit. What I mean by that is you need to develop kind of a touch on how it's going to feel. So right now we're still trying to get a little bit of this centered down because we want the bottom to be as flat as possible, because we have to put legs on it. And the legs aren't going to work exactly right if we don't have the bottom fairly flat. So let's work on it just a bit. This is one tool you want to make sure you always wear your eye protection with. It's a little loud. I probably should have hearing protection on, but the main thing is eye protection, because it does throw chips. Now, it seems like that went pretty fast, but literally I've been working at this for probably 3 or 4 hours on both sides to try to get the cup out. We're getting pretty close here, and I'll show you how we can tell. It throws a lot of chips, so you want to kind of make sure that you've got your work area where you can like I said, I did it outside. There was a thought briefly that I would do it in the garage. Well, that wasn't a thing. But so what you do now to kind of tell a little bit about the piece, hang on, I gotta go grab my yardsticks. So you take your yardsticks and you can lay them across here, and you can kind of move them across, and you can kind of see exactly your high spots. We're pretty good right in this area right here. We got to hit a little bit more, and right here we got to hit a little bit more. But all in all, we're making some really good progress. So I'm going to work on that a bit, and we'll be right back. Okay, everybody, we're back. I need to step back a minute and kind of talk a little bit about the project, give you a little bit more detail about what we're doing, some of the tools we're using. So again, this came to us as a 3.5-inch slab of white oak, and we cut it to the size we wanted, about 7 feet. And it's a spectacular piece of wood, but no piece of slab wood you're ever going to find is going to be perfect. So you're going to need to manipulate it, you're going to need to work the wood a little bit. When it comes to us in slab wood form, it comes from a sawmill. That could be a band mill, it could be a chainsaw mill, it could be one of the old-fashioned circular sawmills, but it's going to be rough. The best thing you can hope for is that it's a uniform width, a uniform depth, and that way it's easier to figure, because you have the live edge sides, which are not uniform, and that's really the idea of the live edge. So you want that uniform thickness if you can. So the tools we use to work with this today is one of my new favorite tools here, and I just got this prior to the project, is a electric hand planer. Now this is a really unique tool in that it really takes a lot of the hard work out of planing and getting these boards even, because whenever you have a piece of live edge, you cannot help but have it a little bit cupped or a little bit twisted, and you need to really work to take care of that and to take that out if you want to have a good finished product. But don't try to go for perfection, because you'll never get there. It's always going to be increments of good enough to get to the point you want, because that's really the beauty. You want the natural beauty of the wood to show. So this is an electric hand plane. It does take a little bit of practice to get used to it, but as you can see, the cutter wheels turn right here, and the two shoes are adjustable for depth of cut. Now when you use this, one of the things you want to try to get used to is take your time. Like I said, I've been using this for a couple hours on this piece, and at least, okay, the other side's even better than this, but so this is really an important tool for that, and it really does speed things up. I wanted to take this through and run it through a big planer, commercial planer, but some things happened that they weren't able to do the live edge anymore, and as a result we're doing this by hand, and actually it's been a lot more fun. In addition to this, when we get down to where we really want to start getting more fine work, you're going to need a little sander. This is just a quarter sheet palm sander. Looks like a DeWalt ad, but it's not. I just like DeWalt tools. But anyway, so you're going to want to use this to work on the edges, to take all the sharp corners off and things like that, and just kind of get it down to a finished point where you're ready to apply the stain or the finish. What we're going to use is a product by Minwax. It's called Wipe On Poly. We'll show you that in another segment here in a few minutes. But first, before we do that, what we're going to do now is we've taken and we've gotten the top here to an acceptable point, okay? And I'm going to show you how we know that, because what we did was we used a technique that is really an old technique. We took 2 straight sticks. In this case, we have 2 yardsticks. Now it's very easy to tell as you move this along, where your high and low spots are. And we're getting pretty close. Again, this is the bottom, so we're just really making it even enough so that we can attach the legs, and we'll show you those in another video too. But anyways, so you see that we're pretty darn close. This was cupped and was quite a bit pumped up, but we worked that several passes with the planer, and we got that down. And again, I would have showed you that planing video, but it's kind of boring, just pass after pass after pass. Just take a little bit at a time take your time, and you get beautiful results. Now the other thing that's an interesting thing that I just learned is how to tell if you have a twist. What you do here is you take these two and you set them on various points here where you want them to sit, and then you get back and you sight it. And you look here and you determine if you have a twist. And indeed we do have a little bit of a twist in this, just a little bit high to a little bit low. It's not going to be so much that we can't use the piece, but it just goes to show that any piece of wood, even if it looks pretty gnarly at the beginning, you probably can get something really salvageable, and it may end up being a really beautiful piece of wood. Part of the character of this wood right here is the fact that it isn't perfect, okay? So what we have to do next, and I'll show you that in a minute, is we have some spots here that got soft. I think it probably got soft mainly, it could have happened while the tree was alive, to be completely honest with you. But trees have segments where the wood will get pithy and it'll get soft and it's no longer usable in furniture grade type material. So what we do now is we have a product called Minwax high performance filler. We're going to fill these gaps right here, and then what we'll do is we'll sand them down. Again, this is on the bottom, so we don't care if it affects the look of the wood. The top side's beautiful, we got that. But this is going to be where we're going to fill this in, make it even more stable for the legs. So stick with us, we'll be right back. Okay everybody, we're back. So this is the product I was telling you about. This is called Minwax High Performance Wood Filler, and it is a hardened product. So as a result, it's a lot like using fiberglass. So you take this, you do a few drops into the mixture, you mix it all up, and then you apply it, and then it hardens, it fills in the gaps. It says it repairs damaged wood, and the good part is it's sandable, paintable, stainable, and it's good for indoor-outdoor use. Now this is going to be an indoor table, of course, so we're not going to worry about moisture, but the point is this is really going to be a good product for it. So hang with me for a second. I'm going to mix this up. I'm going to fill my holes here. You can watch me do this. We'll probably do this on quicker speed. Again, we've used the electric plane. We've gone back and forth for a couple hours on both sides. Got the board as flat as we're going to get it. Now we haven't used the palm sander at all. That's the next step after we're done, and we'll go that. So hang with me here and we'll get this started. Now, this stuff is, generally speaking, like all products like this, pretty darn messy. So as a result, what you want to do, you want to always wear gloves. You probably want to do this outside because this stuff smells like fiberglass. And then you're going to want to be very, very careful how you do this, because like I say, the cleaner you are in the application, the easier it is to to finish it off. Oh, I was going to show you this too. If you didn't think of my comment about hours, check this out. 2 wheelbarrows full of chips. Is that cool or what? Okay, everybody, we're back. Hey, so I put that stuff on. As you can see, it looks a little rough in places. It goes on really thick, and it goes on like really thick cake batter, but in the sun like this, it's, what is it, that's like 75 out right now. And in the sun, you know, it says it has 20 minutes of workable time. Make that about 5, because in the sun, on the part that I did in the shade, it did take the full 20 minutes, but this place, in this, it works at about 5. So we're not going to worry about filling everything. We got our big things filled, so now we're going to just take the palm sander and we're going to go over and we're going to smooth it out and see what it looks like. Okay, that stuff is the real deal. You can see it really smoothed out. It filled our cracks. Again, this is paintable, stainable. This is the bottom, so we're not worried. I mean, we really don't care what this looks like within a reason. We want it to be stable, and we want the cracks to be filled. We want to be able to mount the legs sturdy and everything so we can move it around. So this stuff, I'd say, is a success. It's a little, you got to work with it really fast. And you can see if we really got crazy about it, we could fill this so that it would be really perfect. But I don't think that's what we're after. We're just after stabilizing the cracks. And you can see, we sanded right here smooth. And like I say, we have a little bit more to do up there. I like it. So I'm going to keep working on this. I'll show you the finished sand with this part in a minute. We'll be right back.